Joining me now is a senior diplomat, Hassan Zomlot, the head of the Palestinian mission to the UK. Thank you very much for joining us. First of all, when we spoke before, you had lost members of your family in Gaza City, but I understand you've been bereaved again in the south of Rafah. Tell me what happened.
Yes, I was. That image of the small girl literally dangling with her amputated body in Rafah, that went viral on social media, and I saw it and I was absolutely shocked, shattered. And then at the end of the day, I go back home and I find my wife very sad. I asked what is happening. She said that was Sidra, that was my cousin. It's the daughter of my aunt Susan. My wife's name is Susan, and she was named after her aunt Susan. Susan, the aunt Susan, and her husband were killed together with their two sons and the children of their sons, a twin 7-year-old Sidra, who was in that image, and Susan, again named after her grandmother, and a child, 15 months old, Malik, was slaughtered in that Israeli airstrike to Rafah. Still the slaughtering of children is happening. That photo shocked the world, unfortunately.
And my condolences to you. 1.5 million people in Rafah. What do you fear might happen if there is an offensive?
Apocalyptic, literally, apocalyptic situation. You're talking about 1.5 million people who were forced out of their homes from the north. Already they have been displaced. By the way, the family of my wife has been displaced 10 times until they got to Rafah, all the way walking from the very north of the Gaza Strip to the south. As they are being displaced, they have lost considerable numbers of their families. So my wife's family lost 26, mine lost 100 plus, until they reached Rafah. They reached Rafah, starved. Disease is spreading, still bombed, nowhere to go, and now they're asked by the Israeli military to evacuate again. Where? To Mars, because that's the last point.
Mrs. Zomlot, though, Hamas could stop this if they release the hostages.
This isn't about Hamas, Christy, and please do not pose it as Hamas. Israel is not waging a war against Hamas. Israel is not eradicating Hamas. Israel is eradicating our children, our people, and we've said it from day one. This is going to be a war, an aggression, a genocidal aggression against our people. And look what the genocidal rage in Israel has led to. It was Biden who warned them not to repeat the mistake of 9/11 and not to go with their rage. Look at their rage and revenge and what they're doing. It is collective punishment in every sense.
So what do you make of the move by the US now? I mean, it could be because it was to block the Algerian move, but what do you make of Biden's move at the UN?
Disgraceful, and it will be remembered in history. It will be associated with his name. He is enabling genocide. President Biden is enabling genocide. And that's why we are waiting for the vote tomorrow in Westminster, which is crucial and vital, a very important moment for the UK, given the UK that has stood, the people of the UK that have stood with the side of justice.
But if there is a ceasefire, Mrs. Zomlot, if there is a ceasefire, then the violence should end. And this is what you're saying. It's a critical vote tomorrow as far as you're concerned, because there will be a call for a ceasefire. It will fall because the government has a majority, obviously, but you're saying it matters. But if there is a ceasefire, should Hamas immediately release the hostages?
There has to be a hostage exchange. And Christy, Israel has taken 70,000 Palestinians hostages over the last 4 months. 7,000 without trial, without charge, and therefore we have hostages as well. So Qatar, Egypt, with the US have offered Israel a perfect deal for hostage exchange. It's the Israeli government, it's Netanyahu that is only interested in the continuation of the aggression, the war on our people, simply because he knows the moment the war ends, he's done.
But yes,
that
may or may not be the case. But let me just put to you what Stephen Flynn said. He said that he believes there is the collective punishment of the Palestinians, but he also believes, as much as Israel is guilty, then Hamas is guilty too.
You really want to compare?
Well, I mean, you're Fatah. I'm asking you. I'm not necessarily asking you to compare.
I'm here not Fatah. I'm here representing the Palestinian people,
yes.
The PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, and the State of Palestine, which you should recognize. I am here representing a government. I'm an ambassador, not a senior diplomat, okay, accredited here. And this is a time to stop the denial of the Palestinian people, given the role of Britain in history. But going back to your question, you compare a militant group with a state that has a seat in the UN, that is Israel. The behavior should be comparable,
But
really?
the right to defend
Seriously?
their borders, they have the right to defend their borders.
No, ask the lawyers, ask the international lawyers about the rights and the wrongs of occupation. Occupiers have responsibilities according to the Geneva Conventions.
For medicine and food.
They do
and
not have
water.
rights, they have responsibilities. And the one foremost responsibility for occupiers is to protect the people under their occupation, provide for them, not to deprive them of water and
So David
electricity.
Cameron
Not to
said,
prevent humanitarian aid from reaching children, not to have our babies being killed. You know, you asked me about my wife's family. In last month, I lost 3 of my own family. Jabir, my cousin, 49, his wife, Tagreed. I didn't lose him because of Israeli bombardment, wait. And their daughter, Sundus, the 3 of them died. You know why? Because they were ill and they had nowhere to be treated.
So David Cameron...
Cancer patients are dying. Those who need dialysis are dying. There are thousands of people because of Israel's collective punishment on the Palestinians.
David Cameron, the Foreign Secretary, said that Palestinians need something over the horizon, a new Palestinian government making progress to a 2-state solution. So do you still believe in a 2-state solution?
We do, but Biden is giving us lip service by exercising the veto power today to stop the carnage, this horror. This is lip service. What we need to do is ceasefire immediate and permanent, and then we immediately move to accountability because we need the never again. The never again is for all of us, not just for the few, and we need to make sure the state of Palestine is recognized fully and that we move swiftly to ending Israel's occupation and uproot the root cause of all this.